don't want to be overly dramatic, but I do feel like a bit of a social failure. I moved to a new place around a year ago and I've been settling in, doing my own hobbies and things like that, but I haven't made a friend group here. I want to try to be more social, to make friends. I experience loneliness. I want to have a close-knit friend group. That's my dream in this new area. My friends are spread out really far and wide. We don't talk to each other that often, like we text sometimes, but we aren't involved in our daily lives together. So I do feel lonely. I've tried to find different groups online with my shared interests. I think going to those resources and finding events and things like that where I could socialize is a great way to connect, potentially, with people. So I found like meetup groups and things like Instagram social groups or even Facebook groups that share a common interest, and they'll do something like hiking or a shared creative co-working space. And I just tried to go to 2 events in this past month. I just tried to go to one today, and about a week ago I tried to go to another. But what ended up happening was I just went to the location, I sat there, I convinced myself not to go. There were a lot of thoughts that came into this, like it feels like the group might know each other more than me. We might not share commonalities. They might be in a different age range than me. I'm in my 30s and I do feel like a lot of these social media groups might be for a younger audience, like early 20s. I'm not too sure, but I do feel that way because I live close to a university campus. And I think a lot of things that I do find are kind of associated with that. So being an older person in my 30s, I'm just not sure that I'll really have a lot of commonalities with people in their early 20s. If you've tried something like the online groups and meetups, feel free to share how that went for you, because for me, I'm a very strong introvert. Even though I get sick of it sometimes, but being around people and in a social group, I think it really does drain me. I do better one-on-one with another person because I think that gives me time to get to know them personally and for them to get to know me personally. I think in a group, there's just a lot going on. Whoever's talking the loudest, making the funniest jokes, they might get more attention or talking time, or I never know when I can share my thoughts. And being someone who would rather sit back and observe things to try to understand other people, understand their dynamics, where they're coming from, before I share too much about myself, it's a little harder for me to join these types of groups. Maybe you feel the same, I'm not sure. I do want to, because I'm not sure how else to make friends. When I'm walking on the street, people don't really stop and talk. Being someone who's working gigs now and not involved in school or a day-to-day workplace environment, that also makes the struggle a little bit harder. When you're in school, you can get involved in different club activities, or you're seeing peers that you have something shared with. You're in the same classes, you're studying the same subject, you might have the same interests if you're going to a club together. So you have those commonalities because you're on the same college campus. You might have seen different professors and things like that. You have the same experiences, so they could be coming from very different walks of life, but you share that commonality with them, and that's easy to draw upon when you're first getting started, getting to know each other. Because you could talk about how your classes are going, what your summer plans are, what you'll be doing for break, different clubs that you have interests in, and you can slowly start to build a relationship through those small interactions. Same as when you're working, you have your coworkers, you have the same boss, you have the same clients or customers that you're seeing, you have the same routine and breakdowns, and you could start to slowly get to know each other over that. I mean, you're seeing each other every day, you're always going to be together. So even if you're a reserved person like me, you can see your other coworkers and their personalities and interactions, and you could decide who you want to get closer to if you're picky about friends like me. So not having that is it's been difficult to make friends. I went to a skating group and I did go a few times, and our commonalities are that we like skating. So I have made a few friends from there, but since I haven't been skating anymore, I haven't really been seeing them either. I do have events that I can go to that I can find. I enjoy hiking, being outdoors, drawing, doing creative things like crafts, food, reading sometimes. I like more of like the horror literature and things like that. And I'm a slow reader, so I don't think a book club type of thing would be a good option for me. But I do have interest that there are groups around. And now that I've found them, there's a lot in my area. They do get run pretty often, which is a good thing for me because that means I have a lot of options to go to. I just have to take that next step to actually make myself go. For example, this morning I was going to go to one of those groups. It was a hiking meetup at first and then a social in the afternoon. I had my hiking boots, which I got this year and I haven't used yet. I haven't broken them in. So it was going to be my first hike back. I drove all the way there. I got myself out of the house. I was feeling very nervous and I was already stressed that I don't know the size of this group. I don't know who they are. I don't know if I'll get along with any of them, or I feel like it might be awkward. What if I don't speak? What if I'm expected to speak but I wouldn't want to? But I told myself just to go. So I drove all the way there. It was like a 30-minute drive. I got there and it was really crowded. The event was starting later in the day than I'd like to because I'm an early morning hiker. I couldn't find the group. I drove by the lot and I couldn't see them because there were so many people. So that made me more anxious. Also, I was wearing sweats because it was very cloudy when I left, and then it became more bright when I got there. I was not dressed for the weather. So I ended up leaving. That's why I said that I feel like a social failure, because I'm trying. This is my second event that I've been to, but I haven't been able to get myself to go. I think I'll just have to find more events that are in line with what I want to do. Like that one was too late in the day for me. I think I'll have to find an event that I just agree with, like that's during my creative time and I can create, or during the time I like to hike and then I can hike, or during the times I like to skate and then I can skate. So I came home feeling a little defeated. I had some yakisoba, which was really good. I took a little break and now I'm recording this video upon reflection. I think that I need to do two different things. I need to find a group that's a little more in line with what I'm looking for. So a group that maybe does hikes earlier in the morning, maybe skating later at night, which I like to do. Craft activities in the evening, like a group that already fits my schedule of activity, instead of feeling like I'm doing something a bit out of alignment than I would want to do. I also think I just need to get over that anxious feeling, the feeling of uncertainty when joining something new, and just do it. if I want to make friends with people over a shared hobby and try these things, then I need to be where those people are. And we're all trying this group, right? We're all going to this social activity. So I think they should be the type of people that just want to get to know somebody, maybe. I just need to trust that and also not be so afraid, because if we don't get along, I don't think there's any harm really that comes out of being in a group and not really particularly finding anyone that you'd like to be close friends with, you know. I think it should be a little more casual than that, just seeing who's there and just spending time with people in the present. Maybe that should be the focus, not seeing if we can be lifelong friends or build a real friendship out of that, just going and showing up. Even though those two events were failures, because I didn't actually go talk to the people in the groups, at least I showed up. I guess that's the first step. But I don't want it to be a habit of me going to these events and just being in the vicinity and then leaving. I want the next event that I pick to be an event that I actually join. That's my goal coming up. I will schedule one that and not overthink it. Just show up and be present. And I hope that that means I'm on the journey to start this socializing again. I guess it's like a muscle that I haven't used in a long time. So it makes sense that it's hard. I think I should be more gentle with myself too. At least I saw an event that I thought was interesting, got myself there. And yes, I didn't make the final steps, but it's a step in the right direction. So I should be somewhat happy with that. Instead of having these group events be the first time I'm doing something that I've been out of for a while, I'll also try to just do those events by myself and then work up to doing them with a group, because I think that added to a bit of the anxiety, you know, going out there and seeing so many people on the trail when I like to be on the trail by myself. I just wanted to share that part of my journey with you, these difficult moments. I'm just reminding myself that these first steps are the hardest. I'm gonna go journal about stuff, figure out my plan, how I'm gonna get things sorted, how I'll make that next step into friendship with others and socializing. And I'll update you in the next one. All right, bye.